zeroed in? All right. Study guide, test 6, chapters 7, 8, 33, 34, and 36. That seems like a lot.
It does.
Unless you took test 3, which covered 11 chapters, so it makes this look small.
On my best test.
Number 1, functions of myelin. Does anybody have anything on that? I need a little feedback here. I can't do it all for you. Thank you very much.
What?
It is an insulative shield that increases conduction. It speeds conduction. Number 2. What are the electric charges of a resting nerve cell membrane on the inside? Negative on the outside. Very good. Negative inside, positive outside. I can tell y'all have done nothing with your study guide for the most part. She becomes Miss Carl Albert and quits on it.
I actually did like half of it, but it's morning.
You're lying.
Wow. On camera.
Nice to have the support of the wife, isn't it? Number 3. My husband lies a lot.
Let's forgive him.
No, we're being filmed, by the way, so we got you lying on film. Number 3, action potential. In an action potential, sodium moves inside to make the inside of the cell positive. So sodium moves inside to create a positive inside. You could say sodium influx if you wanted to use a big term there. Sodium influx. You like moves inside? Number 4. What's another name for afferent? Century. Efferent. Motor.
What was the first one?
Sensory. And you was wanting a B a while ago. I'm thinking C now.
Come on.
He promised, begged in the class, promised he'd be a great student.
Hey.
This is what I got.
I did not beg, I did.
Number 5. What are the terms that describe after synapse and before synapse? Think about this. Postsynaptic is after and presynaptic is before. That's right. I'm making this test so easy I'm almost ashamed of it. I might have to put a little twist in there. Number 6. What are the 3 layers of the meninges and what are their functions? Well, all their functions are the same for protection. What's the 3 layers? First layer is the, anybody have it? You're letting me down here. You is my only source of information here. Piamater. P-I-A-M-A-T-E-R. Pia means thin. The second layer is the arachnoid layer. Spider-like, right? Arachnoid layer. That's where the blood vessels are at. And the third layer, duramater. Like Duracell, but this is a duramater. You know what that stands for in Latin, don't you? Tough mother. That's what duramater means. When you get mad at your mom, don't go call her a duramater. You'll always get slapped cross-eyed. Number 7. What area of the brain is concerned with equilibrium, posture, and manual dexterity? Cerebellum. Thank you very much.
What are you doing over here?
He's absorbing the chapter. What part of the brain would be considered the largest part of the brain? Cerebrum. Since it's next in line, I thought y'all might catch on. You did well.
Is all we need to know about it is the largest?
For now. break it down a little later.
It's the anterior portion of the forebrain.
Next. Number 9. What subconscious activities is the medulla responsible for?
Heartbeat, breathing, heartbeat.
Let's just call them all vital functions. Sometimes the book uses the term autonomic functions, but you can put autonomic vital functions and that'll cover it. Number 10. What is the basic unit of the nervous system? It is a neuron. Number 11, do axons carry impulses toward or away from the cell body? Axons away. Number 12, dendrites toward or away? Toward. Number 13, am I moving too fast?
Nope.
Sadie, you okay? Nodes of Reinvier, what are they? What is it? Well, the nodes of Reinvier actually are the places that don't have myelin sheaths, so they're the interruptions in the myelin sheath. Yeah, that's easy, y'all should have known that.
Interruptions in the myelin sheath.
Interruptions in the myelin sheath. Number 14. A synapse. Synapse means to bridge, right? So you're bridging a gap between probably two neurons or a neuron and a muscle.
Is that the answer, or?
Yep,
Okay. I didn't know if you were wanting us to elaborate.
bridging a gap. Synapse means to bridge a gap. What is the sequence in a reflex arc? We have a receptor. You got it?
Yep.
What's next after receptor?
Afferent. Afferent.
Sensory is same as afferent. What's next?
Central nervous system.
That'd be association neurons. And next,
Motor neuron.
motor or efferent. And it goes back to the effector. Very good.
Hold on.
You could have nailed it, though.
Association what?
When we get done with this review and turn that film off, I'm gonna give you all some life lessons.
Association what? What was the third one?
Association neuron, motor neuron, and effector. What is the function of a sense organ? It's to, how did you put it? Detect. I like that term, detect. Somewhere in the book it used the term, it translated environmental, but it doesn't translate. The brain translates, but it does detect. And I saw another place, maybe in another book I picked it up, they call them biological transducers. That's deep doo-doo right there. Environmental, detect environmental stimuli is what they do. What's the function of a chemoreceptor? To sense chemicals, thank you very much, which probably smell and taste. And then what about the function of a mechanoreceptor? Could be touch, pressure, pain. It could be sound in the ears, mechanical bones, yep.
Since what?
Just make up something. Number 18.
That'd be the one you get wrong.
What contains the receptors for hearing?
Bless you.
What contains those? Where are they found?
The cochlea.
Inside the cochlea. Cochlea, depends on how much you've been drinking. So what are the sound receptors? What are they called? Not hair cells, they actually have a name. Organs of Corti. That's what they're called, and they're found in the cochlea.
Is that the next one?
No, it's all the same. I just keep adding to it. Macy, you with us? You looked a little lost there. Okay. What is the sense of balance or equilibrium in humans associated with? What part of the ear?
Eardrum.
Even more precise than the vestibular apparatus. What part of the vestibular? There's three parts. Semicircular canals, yeah. Semicircular canals. Sense of balance and equilibrium. Number 20, I told you this one when we went through the chapter. I hope you wrote it down.
Statocyst.
Statocyst. 21. What is the function of the lens?
To bend the light.
To what?
Bend light.
Focus. What's a big word for focus? We're trying to scatter our vocabulary here a little. A big word for focus is accommodate. Accommodate. Yeah, so focus or accommodate. I'm pushing the limits here, all right? I'll try not to go too far beyond that. All right, now this is a tough one. What is speed of the nervous system, number 22?
Fast.
Just fast.
Fast.
It's fast. It's really fast. It's like see somebody drive. Whew, that was fast. What about the endocrine system? Yeah, it's slow. They look at me running and say, boy, that's slow. My second son's as slow as my first son. We bought him a new pair of shoes, so now he thinks he can run fast, but he's still slow. He said he can run really fast in these shoes. Well, no faster than you're running. You're gonna get sunburned staying in the same place. He's got a lazy tongue. Instead of saying fast, he wants to say fast. His sister's name's Faith, Baith. She'll say, quit calling me Baith. Well, Faithy. What is the master gland? Is there a master gland?
Yes.
Nope.
Nope, nothing. They're all the same.
Technically, there is no master gland. That's the physiology coming out in me.
Why is it on the study guide?
If y'all say there's a master gland, then that's the psychology coming out in y'all, because they're wrong. Psychology is about a decade or 3 behind.
Or did we say pituitary gland?
I'm getting to that.
There is no such thing.
See, there's not a gland that tells everything else what to do. What the tissues send requests for hormone secretions. That's what happens. So there's not a gland up there saying, I'm sending you some freaking hormones, you take it anyway. There's not a gland up there doing that. The tissues say, hey, I need some of this hormone, and they send them some and wait for feedback. I need some more, send them some more. Okay, so now there is one gland that's probably got its finger in a little bit of everything, and it's the last gland by theory that they considered the master gland. And for our purposes, this is what we're going to put on the test. But I just want you to know there's really not a master gland.
Okay.
So this gland is the hypothalamus. Now, there's still some psychology books saying anterior pituitary, but they're way off. The newer ones should say hypothalamus, but they're still a decade behind. There is no master gland. But for our purposes, just put the hypothalamus and run with it. Number 24. What serves as an endocrine gland during pregnancy? It comes out right behind the child, the placenta. Yes, it does. Number 25, what transports hormones? Blood. That was way too hard. See, that's what's gonna get y'all. You'll look at that and say, no, that's too easy, he's trying to trick us. And so I'm letting you trick yourself with my easy questions. What type of hormones does a dwarf like? Growth hormone. What type of hormone does a cretin lack? That's not on there, but I'm asking. Cretin. I told y'all this one. I said don't get these two confused because just a dwarf is lacking growth hormone. A cretin is a mentally retarded dwarf. It's lacking thyroxine. Yep. I don't think it's on here, but it needs to be. 27. What does oxytocin produce during parturition? What does it encourage? More uterine contractions. We hadn't got the kid here yet. After the kid gets here, then we'll get milk let down. That'll come more in sequence one of these days when you have your triplets after eating all those
Yams.
yams. We'll get some of that genetically beefed up yams out there, and we'll have 4 or 5 at a time.
You're scaring me, Cody.
We all over at once.
It'd be torturous that one time. What does removal of the parathyroid gland result in? What did I tell y'all? Which leads to death. 29, what does glucocorticoids do? This is your cortisol. It is your
Influence food metabolism. Inflammation and stress.
anti-inflammatory and deals with stress. Was getting there. The eagerness in the voice was impressive, though. Just cannot lasso the knowledge flowing out of this boy up here. Number 30, what two hormones produced by the pancreas regulate sugar? Insulin and glucagon. Very good. These are still not hard yet. Y'all are still saying, oh, there's something tricky about that question. What is behavior through experience? Learning. Yeah, that's something we're not very good at. Mom said don't touch that hot stove.
Is that the answer?
Yeah. We're a little slow.
It's too easy.
Mom said, don't touch that stove. What stove? Did
That's
you learn? Yeah, learn. Mom's usually right. Maybe not to listen to Mom every now and then. Or maybe next time she'll just slap you so you won't touch the stove. Number 32, what does imprinting illustrate? Say that again.
Another kind of learned behavior.
It is another kind. It's usually confined to a brief sensitive period, though. You remember the white-crowned sparrow had to hear the song of its species between day 10 and day 50? A gosling leaves the nest, follows its mother for a certain time frame. They didn't even give a specific time frame, but a few hours to a few days, they follow nothing else. If mother duck is Santa Claus, the duck follows Santa Claus. I mean,
What's the answer?
all that, we didn't even get an answer. It's interaction of heredity and environment confined to a brief sensitive period, and it's permanent once established. Imprinting. Interaction, y'all could go to the book and actually write it down out of the book.
I'm looking for it.
Yeah, okay.
I got interaction.
Interaction of
Yeah.
hereditary environment.
It is another form of learned behavior, though. Let's move on. Y'all can go pull that now. The book. It should have already done that. Number 33, territory. Animals of the same species are excluded in most cases. I established this territory for me and my honey. You stay out. 34 is a statement, and it's true. Innate behavior is inherited. That's instinctive. You're born with it. 35, what are the benefits of social organization? Protection, finding of mates, cooperation in hunting. Just to name a few, you could actually look those up as well, but that's pretty sufficient. You got them? You're just like an encyclopedia.
Yeah, pretty much.
I saw where some guy was selling some encyclopedias, and he just went ahead and wrote in the paper, Encyclopedia Britannica complete set for sale. Just got married, wife knows everything. Didn't need them anymore. Hermaphrodite. Oh, I missed dioecious, didn't I? Dioecious, 2 parents. Monoecious, 1 parent. Monoecious, typically this is 1 parent, either male or female. Dioecious, let me back up. Dioecious, 2 parents, you'll have male and female. It takes 2. Monoecious, 1 parent may have both reproductive systems. That can be a hermaphroditic situation. In 37, hermaphrodite obviously have both male and female sex organs, and that's basically the same as monoecious. 38, where does fertilization occur? Where in the reproductive system? It occurs in the upper 1/3 of the what? You're close to the ovaries. You're close enough to tickle them probably. Fallopian tubes, that's where the egg falls from the ovaries, go in the fallopian tube. Upper 1/3 of the fallopian tube. Now what's another name for fallopian tube? Uterine tube, or what do we call them on the frog?
Oviduct.
Oviduct. Number 39. 3 polar bodies are considered non-functional eggs. What is the first functional organ of an embryo? Heart. What is reduction division? This goes way back to test 1.
It's a long time ago.
I know, we should remember.
Mitosis.
Meiosis. Man, that was close. Had an M.
Good
I
guess.
know.
What was it, Miles?
Meiosis. As some would say, meiosis.
Yeah, I didn't know how to say it, that's fine.
Yeah, of course. What do the terms parthenogenesis and virgin origin refer to? Embryo develops from? Not everybody at once. What? From an unfertilized egg. That's the kicker. Unfertilized egg.
How does that happen?
Well, the example they used in the book was honeybees. The queen bee can choose or not to choose to fertilize her eggs. If she fertilizes, she gets diploid females. If she doesn't, she gets haploid males. It can happen. Let's see, gametogenesis, formation of eggs by female and sperm by male. Production of gametes is what it is. What are the functions of the placenta? Obviously hormones is a big one, right? Nutrients, excrete waste, protection. It does a lot of filtering for us. 45. If we're just talking about, since this is zoology, we're not specifically talking about humans here. Let's just talk about animals in general. A cow or goats or sheep, animals they do this research on. How do the female hormones change that bring on parturition or the birthing process? We're looking at 2 hormones. How do they change? What hormone holds the pregnancy for 38 weeks?
Progesterone.
Progesterone, okay? Bringing on the onset of labor here, where is progesterone? Way up here, or does it start coming down? Estrogen rises and progesterone falls. That's what happens at the beginning of birth. Estrogen rises, progesterone falls. .46. Now, let me back up. In humans, they don't see progesterone falling. What they see is progesterone rises above progesterone block. There's a lot of estrogen there. I think that has something to do with her madness during labor, but just a theory. 47, or is it 46? 46, rhodopsin, what is it?
Come on, Cody, what is it?
I heard the word I, so they were close. What?
Pigments in the rods.
Pigments in the rods. It's in the rods. It's a light-sensitive pigment found with your rods. Do you remember what it's made of? Protein called opsin and a derivative of vitamin A called retinol. Oh, you never know. Move on. 47. What enzyme rapidly destroys acetylcholine after it's released at the synapse? I'm really disappointed in y'all's effort in this study guide here.
We would be so happy with our test scores though.
Now, after I lecture on it for 3.5 weeks and then give you all the answers for the study guide. 47, what do you have? What enzyme rapidly destroys acetylcholine after it is released at the synapse? I put it on the board. I may just leave it blank for you. Yeah. Acetylcholine esterase.
Yeah. That works.
Because I briefed it on the board, I put ACH ACE. But since y'all didn't know it on the test, it's gonna be completely spelled out. You'll have to know exactly how to spell it because all 4 of them's gonna be really close. And they'll all end with ACE.
Acetylcholine what?
Acetylcholine
Esterase.
is,
Alright.
Number 48. Do exocrine glands have ducts?
yes.
Yes.
We got one. 49. Pheromones are, what's the definition of pheromones? They are what? You quit on us.
Where are we at?
I'm on number 49.
Okay.
We already answered 48.
Yeah, I got that.
So what's 49? Pheromones?
I know how to spell it.
You sensing somebody and don't even know it, aren't you?
Yep.
Chemical
Smell.
substance released by one organism that influences the behavior of physiological process of another organism.
Smell.
They're chemical communicators.
That's what I meant.
And you may be communicating, not even knowing. I told y'all the dormitory effect, didn't I? The study in colleges, 2 women. That's exactly. Those 2 women were communicating chemicals, not even knowing it. Same thing would be with mom and daughter. You'll spend enough time with each other.
So,
Number 50. Or is it, I don't know, is it 49 or 50? 50. What distinguishes sexual from asexual fertilization? What's the advantages and disadvantages? Sexual reproduction, here's your main advantage. You produce diversity in the offspring because you're using genetics from 2 different parents. Does that make sense?
What?
is this
Yeah, it's supposed to be 2 different ones, I'm guessing, but it was put together.
50?
Yeah, stuck them together.
Alright, so what was it again? I couldn't find the question.
Sexual,
Yes.
it produces diversity in the offspring because you're using genetics from 2 different parents. Okay, now the downfall of that is very energy and time consuming. You know, typically sexual reproduction doesn't produce a lot of offspring, but the offspring we get is better. Asexual reproduction is like cloning. That's the best way to put it. It's like producing little clones. What is the function of territoriality? What would be an advantage of having a territory?
You know what's in it?
Do what?
It'd be yours.
It'd be yours. That's one way of putting it, I guess. To keep, others of the same species out, yeah. Hopefully you can supply food. You can encourage, rearing young and mating because you have established a quality territory. What number is the next one? 51? 51, what are the sex hormones produced by the ovaries and testes? The ovaries would produce what primary female hormone? Estrogen. And progesterone would be the other female hormone that maintains pregnancy. And then the one from the male would be testosterone. Number 52, what does the male reproductive system consist of? I'll have a couple questions on there, and here's basically what they are. I'll say, which of the following is not part of the female system? And if you see a testy on there, that's obviously not it. If you see a prostate gland on there, that's not in the female system. And the other question would be right the opposite. Which of the following is not part of the female system, or
Male.
not part of the male system? And if you see a uterus on there, that would be a giveaway. So you kind of know the pieces and parts, be familiar with them, and I'll have people miss this question. It's not that hard, but you really should study up on that a little more. All right, 53. What is the insect molting hormone called? Somebody have it? Ecdysone? ECDYSONE?
What?
I'm impressed. You've done your homework back there. Thank you. I'm very disappointed in the rest of you losers. What do gonadotropins act on? It's another one of those trick questions. Acts on the gonads. Gonadotropin acts on the gonads. What are the gonads? I know that sounds like a harsh term, but it is scientific.
Reproductive.
Just say ovaries and testes.
Yeah, but that was pretty good though, reproductive parts.
We're in the right system.
Because I learned that most people
Yeah.
associate it with males, but it's actually females have gonads too.
You're exactly right, and it gets that term gets abused a lot because we go through this chapter and we see all these big time scientific names, spermatogenesis. I mean, it's just crazy. And then we get to talk about the ovaries and testes and they call them gonads. It's almost like a cheer, gonads go. Why couldn't there be some big long, I can't even pronounce it, acetylcholine esterase? Why couldn't there be a big long term for the gonads? No, it's just gonads.
They had to make something easy.
And of course, when a baseball takes a bad hop, you get hit in the nads. We can't even say gonads, it's nads, right? Moving on, get on my soapbox there.
Wait till the tape's off and then you can just.
What are the
good.
best known gut hormones? Here's 3. One of them's called CCK. The other one's called gastrin. The other one's called secretin. You might want to go a step further and do a little bit of research on each one of those, kind of make yourself familiar with what they do. I wouldn't want to assign you too much work, though. 56. What type of birth is oviparous?
Live birth without placenta?
It's actually egg birth. You were close. That you were in the ovoviviparous category. Give me an example of an animal that gives egg birth.
Snakes.
There's a snake for everything in there. How about frogs, chickens, birds? Yeah.
Ostrich.
Okay. Ray type birds.